and you hire one airplane and they fly over the fields, they saturate the entire landscape with glyphosate. Everything dies except the Roundup Ready corn. And within a couple of years, Roundup Ready corn was now 90% of the corn, 95% of the corn in the United States is now Roundup Ready corn. And so, but it was still being, and then they developed it for soybean and for barley, for sorghum, for a lot of other plants. But it was still being applied early in the season. And then in 2000, around 2006, they discovered that if you sprayed it on wheat late in the season, it would desiccate the wheat. In other words, it would dry it out. And one of the big losses for farmers in wheat is if it rains during the harvest season, you can't harvest it because it gets moldy. And so if you can spray a desiccant on it and dries it out and kills it, you can harvest it right away and it won't get moldy. So all the wheat in our country started being sprayed that year in 2006 with glyphosate, and that's the year you saw this explosion of celiac diseases and gluten allergies and all of this stuff that people that you may have noticed around then.
But they also did
The first time they were, the first time they're spraying it directly on food, because it used to be they were spraying it early in the season. And it would wash off, and the corn would get higher than the weeds, and you wouldn't have to do it. But now they're spraying it directly on our food. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So when they started doing this, there's a direct result? Like you can see the increase in celiac disease. You can see. Is this like documented?
Well, no. These are. No, that's not documented.
Not documented.
But there's a whole range of diseases that are now, that people are that science, different levels of science have linked to glyphosate exposure. Here's the thing: when you litigate, when you're suing somebody for a chemical exposure, you have to go through a threshold called the Daubert hearing. And the Daubert hearing is a hearing that says, is there sufficient science that it's now considered kind of mainstream that we can show this to a jury? And the judge has to make that decision because the judge doesn't want people saying, coming in and saying, loud noises made me crazy.
Right.
Right. There has to be before, and then a good attorney might be able to convince a jury that my client got crazy because he heard a loud noise. So the judge needs to make a threshold decision about whether there's sufficient science to show a jury, and that is a very high threshold. So of all of the diseases that are probably almost certainly caused by glyphosate, the only one to pass that threshold was the case that we brought for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So at that point, we had enough rat studies, enough human studies. We had about 10 of each. And we were able to go to the judge and say, we got enough science on this now to show that it's that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is being caused by glyphosate. So those were the only cases we brought. The other thing, but there are a lot of really interesting studies that show links between injuries to children and the amount of glyphosate in a woman's urine and the mother's urine, including a lot of sexual development. It's an endocrine disruptor. So,
similar to phthalates.
Phthalates are an endocrine disruptor. Probably the most disturbing endocrine disruptor, and this is something we should all be looking at, is atrazine.
Yeah.
Because atrazine, which is now ubiquitous, it's everywhere. But you can take atrazine, and what is his name?
Jamie.
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 You can look up. You can look up this study. I think the scientist's name is Tyler. I think, and that might be his first or second name. But they took atrazine and they put it in a tank with 40 frogs for 3 years. They put it below the exposure levels that EPA considers acceptable to humans. And 30 of those frogs, they were all male frogs, and they were double Z, male frogs, so they were super males. And 30 of those frogs were chemically castrated. 4 of them turned into females and produced fertile eggs. So they took male frogs, gave them atrazine, 10% of them turned into female and produced fertile eggs. And we're subjecting our children to exposure to that every day.
What is atrazine?
It's in the water. It's a pesticide.
Here it is. Report toxic herbicide found in many Texans' drinking water. That's it. That's from 2018, November 20th.
Yeah, and what does this do to sexual development in children? Nobody knows, because we know what it does to frogs. And what does this do to sexual development in children? Nobody knows, because we know what it does to frogs. And what does this do to sexual development in children? Nobody knows, because we know what it does to frogs.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
My uncle, John Kennedy, did that. He refused to go to war. So he was surrounded by military-industrial complex, and he learned very early and an intelligence apparatus that he realized early on that the purpose of the CIA and the intelligence apparatus was to create a constant pipeline of new wars for the military-industrial complex. 3 days before he took the oath of office, Eisenhower, who was the outgoing president, gave what is probably the most important speech in American history, which was, where he warned against the military-industrial complex. I was at my uncle's inauguration. I was in Washington that day. I was a 6-year-old boy, and I was sitting on the stands behind him, in front of him during his inauguration. And he understood that. And 2 months later, the military and intelligence came to him and said, "We got to invade Cuba." And he was like, "I'm not going to Cuba, and I'm not going to let the military." And they said, "Well, we got all these Cubans trained, and they're going to go attack Castro." And he said, well, we can't, the U.S. government can't be doing that. We can't be attacking. I don't like what Castro's doing down there, but it's not the United States' job to dictate what kind of governments other countries have. And they said, well, as soon as they land, there's going to be a big revolution. Everybody's going to rise up and they're going to overthrow Castro. And he said, well, you can't use the U.S. military. And they ended up bringing those guys over with United Fruit boats. And in the middle of it, in the night, they came to him and said, they're getting wiped out on the beach, and you need to send in the military and invade. And he said, we're not going to do it. And he stepped out of that meeting, and he realized they had been lying to him and trying to trick him. And he said, I want to take the CIA and shatter it into 1,000 pieces and scatter it to the winds. And then, you know, for the next 1,000 days of his presidency, he was at war with his military and intelligence apparatus. They tried to get him to go into Laos. He said no. They tried to get him to go into Vietnam with combat troops. They said that we need 250,000 combat troops. He refused. Everybody around him wanted him to go into Vietnam. He sent 16,000 military advisors. That's fewer people than he sent to get James Meredith into Ole Miss in Jackson, Mississippi, to get one black man into school. He sent fewer in Vietnam. They weren't allowed to fight. Many of them did. They violated the rules of engagement. In October of 1963, he heard that some of his Green Berets had been killed over there. And he said, I want a total casualty list from Vietnam. And his aide came to him and said, 75 Americans have died. He said, that's too many. And he signed that day a national security order ordering all troops out of Vietnam, U.S. troops. The first 1,000 over the next month, and then the rest by the beginning of 1965. And then a month later, he was killed. So, but what his view was is that he believed that the view of Americans abroad should not be, you know, a soldier with a gun. It should be a Peace Corps volunteer building, you know, wells, and it should be USAID helping poor people, and it should be Alliance for Progress building middle class. And that's what he did. And he started the Kennedy Milk Program to you know, give nutrition to poor kids all over the world. As a result of that, in Africa today, there are more statues to John Kennedy, more boulevards named after him, more hospitals, schools, universities, avenues in all the major cities named after him than any other president. And that is the Chinese have taken that template and done the same thing now. And they are, you know, all these countries that were supposedly allied with us are now realigning with the Chinese, and they're switching to their currency because the Chinese are not there to kill people. They're there, you know, to build roads, to build universities, to build colleges. And it turns out that people like that a lot more. And, you know, we should be projecting economic power around the globe and not military power. It will make us much stronger.
But what do you think happens when you get into office? Like, if you're talking about your uncle who was assassinated, and you believe the intelligence agencies were part of that, what happens to you?
Well, I got to be careful. I mean, I'm aware of that, and I'm not. You know, I'm aware of that danger, and you know, I don't live in fear of it, you know, at all. But I'm not stupid about it, and I take precautions.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Did you see the new footage? There's new footage that Jeremy Corbell leaked. There was in 2021, there was a
Corbell.
UFO that hovered over an Air Force base.
What?
The
Slow
bell.
it down. Slow it
Yeah.
down.
You
gotta stop.
Sorry, I'm fucked up too.
I'm taking this in. I can't. Dude.
There's a lot going on here.
Show the pictures of the UFO. These guys, 50 guys observed this thing.
Corbell, dang, I'm trying to process everything.
He can't help himself.
Corbell
He's
chili.
an animal. The Corbell chili?
Hormel.
Oh, Hormel.
That was a
Jesus
stretch.
Christ.
There you go.
I was like, am I missing that one? Is that a cultural reference that I'm not aware
I'm
of?
not sure which
James
exactly
Corbell?
thing is it this, like, because there's articles about him from recent.
Ah,
but,
he's one of your
the
security
ones that
guys.
just came, that just came out like a day ago. I
Oh,
think
those
it's
lights
on
above
his
that house?
Instagram.
That's definitely it.
check his Instagram. I checked
Cardi
his
B
Twitter. His
shows
Twitter
off
been-
daughter's
so
school lunch.
whatever this thing is, they've
This?
got 50 different people. I think he actually released photos of it.
Pull it up. JMO.
Does it? What about his? his
Come on, dude. That's
Jamie,
it's
go to
never any
his,
good evidence. It's like
Instagram.
3 lights a billion miles away.
That's why it's fun.
fair.
If you got
fair,
the really
fair,
good
fair.
evidence, then you would be all in.
Fair.
I don't want to be all in. I like to be like half in.
Hey, look at that background.
I
Looks
think
like
that's
he's here.
that's it. Where you see weaponized, that's the craft. That's it.
Mm.
So okay, so it's a video. So this thing, what this thing is, they photographed it. It's half of a football field size, and it was hovering over this military base, and then it just disappeared, just jetted off.
Interesting.
50 people saw it.
50?
Yeah,
Who are these people?
some military guys.
Who are these people?
It's the whole thing is it's the most exciting thing to me. It's the most fun. Out of all the stupid shit that I like to concentrate on,
You'd think they would have been here by
illuminate
now.
the crap. But when the flares got close, the UFO vanished into thin air. So they shot flares at it.
That's probably just a jetliner.
But
I mean, look at that.
Why would it
Landing-
vanish into thin
landing
air? Why would it
gear.
vanish into thin air? Only
What, it
magic
just went
does that.
further away.
They used magic.
Oh, what?
Never even thought of the fucking magic.
CNN.
That was
Do
Tim
not
Dillon's
run with
jet.
that.
I'm telling you, that's nothing.
I mean,
vanished into thin air.
Ah, you're dreaming.
It probably just shot off at an insane rate of speed, like they always do.
yeah.
Stop. That's
How
what
many
they do.
people would love a full invasion?
How
A
about
full,
you-
like,
how about
landing?
us? We
Yeah.
go camping. We're
Yeah.
doing mushrooms. Aliens land.
I'm dying for a probe. Put it up my ass.
I don't think they do that anymore. I think that's like corded phones.
The
I think they
aliens
got everything they were
homophobic.
looking
I
for.
mean, we have MRIs. Why the fuck does an alien need a finger in your ass?
Good point. Good point.
Yeah,
Well, just for
true.
fun.
True.
Something to go tell the friends back at the farm.
Yeah, all those
you
guys
got
that said they got probed were definitely just sexually assaulted.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
repressed memories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They just
The
lied.
fucking alien got in there.
Some fucking lumberjack
Uncle
fucked them
Alien.
in the forest.
And then
Yeah.
left you right in front of that gay bar?
Yeah.
And they're fucking
Yeah,
the cows.
Sons
crazy.
of bitches.
Somehow they're connected.
Somehow.
I can't believe the
It's all
sons of
connected.
bitches did that.
Son of bitches.
This guy was on my podcast.
Yeah.
This is the dude Travis Walton from that movie Fire in the Sky. Did you ever see that movie Fire in the Sky?
Yeah.
He looks like the
It's
My
all
Pillow
about
guy.
his story. That guy, there's a bunch of witnesses. They saw him get hit with some sort of a beam. They saw a craft land. They were loggers. This guy jumps out. He's a crazy
Beam.
fucking logger dude. Jumps out. What the fuck is it? Goes running towards it, and he gets hit with his beam. He falls down. They drive off. They get like, half a mile down the road, and they're screaming at each other. We got to go back. We got to go back. So they turn around and go back. They go back to the spot, and he's gone. 5 days later, the guy shows up with this crazy story. He shows up, makes a phone call. He calls the police, calls his family. He said he got abducted by that craft, and they fixed him. They said his body was broken from the
What?
beam, and they took him aboard, and he had these encounters. And there was a movie called Fire in the Sky.
shit.
Why'd they beam him in the
Whoa.
first place?
Fuck.
That's the movies, obviously, they took a lot of liberties with the story.
Wow.
But was it D.B. Cooper? Is that the guy who was in it?
Oh, I know
D.B.
that
Sweeney?
guy. That's a different
D.B.
guy.
Sweeney. Yeah, D.B. Sweeney.
Whoa.
Right.
He's the actual
He's the guy that jumped out of the
Oh,
plane
yeah,
with the money. They don't know who that guy
That
is
guy's
either.
badass.
That guy's a nut.
That guy fucking died immediately.
That guy had 2 broken legs and he was eaten by dogs.
He jumped out into the middle of the woods with no parachute, and he survived, I guess.
The craziest is the cows that lose all their skin.
Oh, no.
he
You're
skinned?
talking about cattle mutilations.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't know what the
no
fuck that is.
explanation.
Turn him inside out?
They cut organs out with
Pull it up.
laser precision. They remove the blood from the body with no visible
chupacabra.
method.
That's
What?
chupacabra.
No, there's
chupacabra.
weird stuff that does
chupacabra.
happen to cows.
What about those images appear in
Crop
fields?
circles.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Those are weird
No
too.
one's talking about that
dudes.
anymore.
Acropolis.
I think people gave up on that.
Those are dudes.
Yeah.
Those dudes with with
I think people gave up on
It's a landscape.
yeah, they
guys.
gave up
crop
on them.
circles.
They
I
were
don't
beacons.
hear about that anymore.
Now you
Because
know.
dudes were doing it.
Well, definitely dudes were doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also some of them were a little more interesting.
Yes.
Some
More
of them,
intricate.
there was also they were folded into place in a way where it seemed like a great deal of energy was in the husk
Yeah.
or the
Autistic
stalk,
men
and
did
they had
this.
blown out. No. There's some of them
The
that they
power
were
of
trying to
autism.
say like they had. There was a way that you could do these things, but it's very clear when someone did it that way.
Wow.
Yeah, crop circles were
Named
made
Doug
by
and
supernatural
Dave.
forces named Doug and
Nah.
Dave. Intricate patterns carved in fields across England in the 1980s were a viral phenomena long before the interest fed us such prankster curiosities daily. Yeah.
Yeah.
The people that believe that some of them they have something else to them.
But what about the cows? Because they would
That's a good
pull
point.
the
But this
blood
is a
out.
different.
Chupacabras,
Yeah, this is
Oh,
a different
wow.
thing. Not one drop of blood. Cattle mystery mutilated.
Not one
organ.
drop of
Yeah.
blood.
That's the weird one.
Just sounds like faulty reporting when they found the cow.
Yeah,
I
but
think that's
sucked
more
out.
likely
Look at it.
than an
Sucked
people
alien.
have
out.
done things.
Yeah, that is more likely.
People have done things.
Eastern
Dragged
Order.
away.
Body parts precisely removed. Like someone has cut the organs out of that cow.
A weird
now, if
dude
it was
is
a
more
person
likely.
that's doing it, but
Yeah.
the way they were doing it is very unusual.
No blood? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why the fuck aliens would do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Ah,
But it does make
What do you
sense.
mean?
They're weird.
they want stuff. They want to learn.
A lot of people lean
It's
towards aliens.
humans.
But why would they do that?
The same reason a fucking alien would.
But why no blood?
You want the cow blood?
Why would an alien want cow blood?
To
Imagine-
learn about our creatures.
About cows?
Studying
Yeah,
us.
you got to start somewhere.
Studying us like
Imagine
butterflies.
if it was demons, but they couldn't
Oh.
quite.
Oh, boy.
They couldn't
Here we go.
quite. They didn't have the authority to go after people yet. So they let them have a few cows every now and then just to keep it satisfied.
it out,
'Cause
Joe,
they
you're
live for-
giving me
they
the
live for
willies. Like the
thousands of years.
dragons?
They live for thousands of years. These demons.
And they have to
And they really
feast.
just want to torture
They gotta
humans
feast.
and gut them and suck their blood out and leave their fucking
Lil Nas
skinned
X.
carcasses.
Well, Nas X is gonna come up here. and give
Oh,
me a
yeah, they
fucking
always talk
lap
about
dance,
natural.
Dude.
What about
Better
the
not make me
supernatural?
come, dude.
Yeah, we're blaming it on aliens when it's demons.
It's just demons.
Demons
Ghouls.
practicing. They're like, okay, go take a cow, you fucking freaks.
Practicing
got
for
that
the
right.
They
invasion.
just go practice for what they're gonna do to us. Once they get the green light, once people are like
Too bad.
inexcusably evil.
Yeah.
Once there's just like
What, they're
every
like Hitler. Ah.
every country is ruled by evil dictators. Well, like probably that close.
That close. A little more sodomy.
A little more.
And they're
than-
unleashed.
Then we find out that Satan's real.
Sodom and
Well,
Gomorrah.
we're gonna get some good comments after this one. The Satan is real, people. Golan writes, the reports of cattle mutilations began in 1973, mostly in the West and Midwest. It was often small-scale ranchers who reported them. When local law enforcement agencies investigated, they frequently found that the cow's ears, eyes, rectums, and sex organs had been cut away with surgical precision. According to the newspaper reports, more than 10,000 of the incidents occurred by the end of the decade. It's demons.
Demons. You're
Imagine
fucking
what it
right.
was.
Dude, you're fucking right. It's
They just-
demons.
they
Jamie,
just-
bring up chupacabras.
They just have to practice every now and then. They
Demon
just-
Wayans.
They want to. They want to do it to people, but God won't let them yet.
Yeah,
Demon
right.
Wayans, just
But they
Demon
need a
Wayans?
feast.
Jesus Christ, dude. You're a machine.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
They don't slap you on your wrist like other places. No, you can get a life sentence in Houston easy. I'm easy. Do something out of pocket like you was doing somewhere. Oh, you gonna just carjack. All right, that's a capital offense. You had a weapon while you was carjacking? Oh, okay, capital. What that start with? 35. It's whatever it is. It's gonna be 35 years and up. So get that wrapped around your mind. Oh, you watched them come out the bank. Oh, you premeditated robbing. Oh, okay. Sure got you on video too. And you had a weapon. Oh yeah, another capital. Like damn. Like like as soon you get hit with so many charges. And then they find out you got a weapon. You got a weapon? Like this how they point at you. You got a weapon? Capital. They ready to throw capital on everything. Wow. Because they need more people to put in these jails. But
How scary is that? How scary is that?
Texas is like this. I only had to go once. And it's nothing ever in my life that I do to ever get back to that position. Nothing. Like I'll hold court in the street before something like that happens.
Look, I'm not in favor of carjacking or armed robbery. Not in any stretch of the imagination. But until we address why this is all happening, until you address why some people have zero need to rob people, and some people that's the only way they can get by, or the way they've learned to get by, and it's been in their neighborhood for so long. They've been dealing with gang violence and drug dealing and chaos all their life.
So I ask you this. Being formerly from this position, have I not seen anything else? Like ever? See, sometimes I can rationalize when people say, I don't know anything else. You have a smartphone? How did you find out about smartphones? Because they didn't come to the hood and drop a bunch of smartphones in the hood. So how did you find out about it? What you was watching? Where you was at? Okay? So you was somewhere? Okay, cool. Were they doing what you were doing, what you doing right now at that place? When you found out about a smartphone, were they gang banging at the place, or were they shooting and robbing people and cutting up dope? Like, what movie haven't you seen that shows you the results of this? What person haven't you heard speak? Like even when I was doing wrong, I had a sensibility of I heard Public Enemy while I was doing wrong. Like I heard Run DMC. I heard other things that had positive stuff while I was still doing wrong. And I can't say it's all I know, because now I wouldn't have never found out about a smartphone if I was in the street. Because I would be in the street.
So it's not all you know, but it is what you're accustomed to if you grow up in a terrible neighborhood.
I don't even think
If you don't have good role models, if the people around you, I mean, you tell me.
it's. This is what I'm saying. I think that it's a lot of parts to this but when it's also like when raising kids, like my oldest daughter, I used to tell her mom, don't say this in front of her, because then you give her that option as an excuse.
Yeah.
Something she probably never would have even thought of using, but when I give her the option to use it, that's the thing. Like, with me, I'm very transparent about, man, I didn't have to be in the street selling dope. My mom had a job. My desire for what I accepted outside of what my mother was saying to me, because nobody's mother is saying to them, get out in the street and gangbang and create ruckus. Nobody. So when does that voice become less important to you than whatever you're seeing in the street? Because nobody in my community, not one black mother I ever even known in my life, said to their child, this is the only way for you to go and get it. It's to rob, pillage, steal, kill, sell dope. Not one person. I've never heard that story while I was in prison. From nobody. And when people would tell me, man, that's all I know. How in the hell is that all that you know? It's impossible for that to be all that you know, because you were doing something before you were doing that.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. You're a person that takes extreme responsibility, though. You're also a grown man, and you're also a man with a fully formed brain, and your frontal lobe.
As a kid,
you knew this. Well, you were wise.
As a kid, I wasn't. Man, Joe. Man, with me, we was out in the street doing stuff. We knew that it was wrong. That's why we was trying to hide it from our parents. I wasn't trying to hide my basketball championship from my mother.
Of course.
I wasn't trying to hide when I was working and earned something from working. I wasn't trying to hide that from her. I knew exactly what I was doing because of how we were going about doing it. And all of us knew that we were wrong. And the consequences, what was ridiculous was we thinking that we just go in and get a slap on the wrist, not understanding what you gotta go through to even get that slap on the wrist. Because you gotta get arrested first. And when you go to the county jail is not a place. This is full of grown men. And they don't care nothing about you being 17. They don't care nothing about you being 18. Care nothing about you being 19, because you didn't care. Whatever you were doing in the street, you didn't care. So why would we care about what you got going on in here? And we're going to put you in the worst position. So maybe you can say that you don't want to be in this position. Maybe the people who love you will come get you out of this position. Like my mother did the first time. When my mother bonded me out the first time, I should have learned then. This lady has a job, and I'm making it harder for her. I'm putting my mother in the hole $2,000 because I got a $20,000 bond.
How old were you then?
I'm 16. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have no reason, because I want a goddamn UNLV jacket.
Well, you know that now, but what did you think when you were 16?
You know what happened was how I even get in this situation. I'm in the car with some people that's really petty. They really petty. And I know these people petty because they robbing people, and I'm not no robber. I'm a hustler. And I know better than be with somebody that's a robber. Because it's two different categories on things. I'm hustling for whatever I want. You're taking something from somebody. You're a thief. and I'm in the car, and he snatched this lady purse, and I don't say nothing. I'm in the car. It's on camera in the parking lot. Everybody that go in the car, we go in there. I'm not going to snitch on you. But I didn't take no purse. And I told my mom, I ain't take that lady purse. But did you get some Jordans from the credit card that somebody used? I'm with them. But I ain't take nothing from that lady. I told him, man, that's stupid. And boom, now I'm on probation. Then, hey, I'm working at the grocery store, but I still got bread. I still got bread that from my hustling. So I'm in a position, and I'm trying to figure out how to give my mother this $2,000 back for some dumb shit that I done did. Man, I'm not supposed to be with nobody even like this. And see, nowadays people got this weird loyalty to people who they don't even fucking know. That's the crazy thing. You got loyalty to somebody who you don't know that ain't even got as much to lose as you. I only really hang with men that got things to lose like me. So you make better decisions.
Yeah.
Hey man, hey man, man, what are you responsible for? Or who are you responsible for? That means a lot to me as the character of your person. Oh, I'm just out for self. Oh, nah, bro. You can't hang with me and you ain't got nobody to just be responsible for you, just yourself? Nah.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
It's nerve-wracking, man, because the people that have that kind of money and that kind of power, they want to maintain that position and they want to maintain that influence over people. And the best way to maintain it is to like tighten down on what people are allowed to do.
Yeah.
Where they have to comply. I mean, the CEO of Pfizer, there was a famous speech where he's giving where he's talking about a pill that you would have to take that sends off a signal to show that you've taken it. And he says, imagine the compliance. This is what he says.
Yeah.
Have you seen him say that?
No.
Let's find that. Find where he says that. Because it's so bonkers. Like compliance. Like,
God.
you know what I mean?
It's scary.
Comply.
Yeah.
You're making people go. So you're forcing, that word, that term, just the thought process behind that statement is so crazy.
Encourage would be better. Comply, like you have no choice.
Here it says, edited to cut important context. CEO Albert Bourla explains. So what is the actual? But it's okay. Says the video discussing ingestible pills with sensors has gone viral, falsely presented as an interview from 2022 and edited to cut out important context. One Twitter user shared the clip on May 20 here, commenting, Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla explains Pfizer's new tech to Davos crowd, ingestible pills, a pill with a tiny chip to send a wireless signal to relevant authorities when the pharmaceutical has been digested. Imagine the compliance, he says. Now, is that really what he said?
See.
So what does he really say?
Yeah, there's
What's
video.
cut out if he says that? See, this is one of those things where you got to wonder if they're trying to gaslight you with the headline. He commented on biological sensors during a conversation on general technological advances in healthcare and pharmaceuticals. So what has he said? In response to a question from the audience, ideas to engage patient, he calls the research and field fascinating. He says that there's already a pill approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. He moves on to describe this pill, and where the clip version seen on social media begins, and he later concludes, but of course there will be an initial cost and someone needs to invest. Bourla was not talking about a Pfizer drug or technology. Rather, he was describing Abilify MySite, a drug with a digital ingestion tracking system, right?
So that is it.
Okay, for the treatment of schizophrenia, acute treatment of manic and mixed episodes associated with bipolar 1 disorder, and for use as an add-on treatment for depression in adults. So he was talking about a different pill, but he was talking about a pill with a sensor.
But the point is,
Still the same
that
thing.
is true. So they can say, well, it's for this schizophrenia or manic. So that's why that's how they got it approved. But now it's out there.
Right. Well, now it's an actual technology, and if they can mandate a medication that you have to take
so they
for something else.
They make it sound good by, maybe that would help those people, but now it can be used on everybody.
Yeah. So here it says that. So it basically is a biological chip that is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and it dissolves into your stomach, it sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that. Compliance. So did he say, imagine the applications of that, compliance, and then they edit it to say, imagine the compliance?
I think that's what it's saying.
Let's see him say it.
Here's
I was going to say we just play the video.
Yeah, let's play the video.
And then
let's play the video.
So it would be this one.
It is basically biological chip that it is in the tablet. And once you take the tablet and dissolves into your stomach, sends a signal that you took the tablet. So imagine the applications of that, compliance. The insurance companies to know that the medicines that patients should take, they do take them. It is fascinating what happens in this field.
That doesn't comfort me, if that's what he really said.
No, but he's saying, so if you have a schizophrenic patient.
Right, and they have to take it.
To know that they did or didn't take their medicine like they're supposed to.
Yes.
But yeah, you could use that on anything then.
You could use it on anything.
Once they get it, down the whatever approved, then it's there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And once it's been applied before, they can apply it to other things. And if they can mandate that everybody takes a medication, they have that.
For health and safety.
And especially if you have an application. Now, if you have an application, this World Health Organization digital passport, it sends a signal to your passport. And if you don't, you're not going anywhere.
And they just say it's for health and safety.
It's all bonkers.
Yeah.
And the fucking headline that they had to that is like,
yeah,
that's that thing that they
I
do.
know.
The
They
gaslighting
twist shit around.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were reading this thing about Al Pacino. There's this whole article, and the type of the article was Al Pacino feels like reports are that Al Pacino felt like the girl hoodwinked him, and this and that. And then below that, in small letters, after we talked to him, that's not true.
So the head. Yeah.
So look at this. Look at this. Check out this fucking. Here, we'll go back. Look at this. So this is a really special coming at this time. Al Pacino, 83, breaks silence to celebrate 29-year-old girlfriend's pregnancy after claims he demanded paternity tests because she hoodwinked him. The actor revealed he and his girlfriend, Noor Al-Fawla, were expecting last week. Initial reports claimed that Al was not pleased over the news. Sources told Daily Mail that wasn't true, which he has now confirmed.
Then why is it
so
in
he's
the
confirmed it's not true.
It's still in the headline.
Right, but that's in little tiny letters below the big headline that says, breaks silence to celebrate 29-year-old girlfriend's pregnancy after claims that he demanded paternity tests because she hoodwinked him.
Yeah.
Claims. By who?
Yeah.
But that's a headline, so they're allowed to do that, just like they were allowed in that last headline.
That's what drives me crazy.
So what was the last headline? Go back.
I sort of understand this one because there were a bunch of claims that he was mad, and they're like, he's
No,
not mad, but-
not the Al Pacino one. Go back to the other headline, the
sorry.
Borla one. What was the headline that
It said-
discredited
so, yeah,
what
it
we did?
says that it's
Can you
Pfizer's
show
new
it?
tech. Yeah, it's right there, and it's
Right.
not Pfizer's tech is the problem.
Okay, so it's new tech.
Yeah, and
Whether it's
at the,
it's still the CEO of Pfizer
it's
talking
at the
about
World
new tech.
Economic Forum.
It was also in 2018, and they're saying that this was new and a year ago,
Well,
which it's not
Even
Who
if it's
cares?
2018, it's still crazy.
Yeah, it is.
It's still crazy. And I get it that it was pre-pandemic, so it's a different thing. And in application for schizophrenics, I understand that as well. I know people that are schizophrenic, and I know people that go off their medication and lose their fucking mind. And it's dangerous. It's
No,
weird.
It would probably.
When Brody was off his medication,
Right.
there was a moment when Brody was around the store when he was off his medication, and people were trying to get him back on it. And he was really struggling, and I've seen it, So if you had a situation like that where you can ensure that Brody was taking his medication, maybe Brody would still be with us. I don't know, but maybe he would be okay. Maybe, but it's also he's a human being, and maybe you should just try to get someone to be with him and make sure he takes his medication rather than forcing a new technology down the throats of everyone for a very small percentage of people that absolutely have to take medication or they go crazy, because most people don't have to do that.
Right.
So to have that kind of tech available, that freaks me out.
This is a continuation, guys, of a previous video we watched. We watched a video of a guy using ChatGPT to make a leveling guide to level him, basically. So I figured we should give this a watch too, guys, okay? Oh, he's just sleeping. Oh.
Well, this was certainly a surprise.
What? Assman Silver, Assmongler, Okay, bro.
Well, this was certainly a surprise.
Okay.
So a few of you like my idea of trying to level a character in classic World of Warcraft using AI, and I thought it was an interesting idea too. Some people, though, had some suggestions.
You're boring. You don't sound Nigerian at all.
But seriously, though,
Wait, what was the... Anyone with a brain Googles Resident Evil 3 and follows the guide only takes 12 hours. He used a pretty shit and basic prompt. Should have asked for more details. How can this dude claim to play so much mob and die to entry quest in the Barrens, Lamau? When he said he started the mob, I immediately stopped listening. AI did well, the player was garbage. But going to Barrens at 10 was the only thing I'd changed. Push that to at least 12 and you're good. What's this one? Let's be honest, he would have struggled with any guide. This doesn't go into depth and use the ChatGPT to level. I will say, when we watched the previous video, the guide was not that great. It was a very surface level guide that he used, basically. And the talents that he was given was like a Wrath of the Lich King talent. It was definitely not the greatest, okay? It was very much not in-depth at all. It was a very surface level guide, like level in Durotor, level in Barrens. That was basically what it told him to do. And then the talent guides wasn't that great as well. But let's see though.
You don't sound Nigerian at all.
But seriously though, I'm blown away by the reaction I got from this idea, including Asmon's, which I thought was in the realm of fantasy, but here we are.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the first part of this series, check it out first before watching this.
Yep,
I've read pretty much every comment left on mine and Asmon's video, looking for suggestions and tweaks that I can apply to this idea.
That's
and
amazing.
I'm very thankful for everyone that did. Obviously, the biggest suggestion I totally agree with was more use of the AI, and that's what I've done. I asked it to make me some useful macros for leveling my warrior. They weren't very good. I asked it to suggest some add-ons for me. These may not be necessary.
Is he playing with Peckle? Did the AI suggest him to play with Peckle while he's leveling? Okay.
I got it to code me an entirely custom add-on to shout at me whenever I didn't have Battle Shout enabled. I even asked it for the best way to make money. Ooh, fishing sounds nice. I even downloaded the AI voiceover add-on just to give everything another layer of AI-driven adventure.
Okay.
All members of the Horde are equal in my eyes, adventurer.
But the two main items I wanted to work on was the talents and the leveling guide. Now,
wow, that's amazing. I don't like the talents was really weird, man. They were very strange.
We'll come to the talents in a moment, but first let's look at the guide. The biggest complaint I saw was that the guide was essentially useless.
Yeah,
it was too vague, didn't offer anything of value to the leveling experience, and could be a lot better.
It could.
And I agree. After I made that first video, I spent the best part of a week tweaking and making guide after guide after guide, working with people in my Discord.
Your guide is shit, mate.
Oh.
Until eventually, I created this.
Whoa! Holy! City of Hearthstone, Jinsel, Fort Magic. Wait, it's actually a guide. Wait. Continue to install until your Hearthstone is set as Sunrock Retreat. Head to Ashenvale. Set your Hearthstone as Spinder Tree. Okay, it really wants to change the Hearthstone a lot. Okay, kill marks for XP. Can be slow but steady XP. Okay, dungeons are a great source of XP, apart from questing. Okay, the genuine guide.
Let me make this clear. This guide is still far from perfect.
Yeah.
But out of all the generations and variations of me just wanting to play the game again, I would say this guide is closest I'm going to get to what looks like a leveling guide. I'm sure some of you AI prompt experts could probably do better, but I'd like to state for the record, I'm not professional in any kind. You might also notice that the guide no longer just points us to Ashenvale, and it's more all over the place now. But supposedly, the AI has given us a time-efficient...
Wait, this is a drop quest from a Galak messenger. After getting the Gizmo, use it to feed the 12 targeted vultures to full energy. What? That's not a... Is it like mixing different quests? That is not... The Hypercapacitator Gizmo is the one from the Panther. And then that does not drop from the Galak messenger. The Galak messenger drops the note that sends you to the... It's called AI hallucination. Okay. Yeah, it's probably like doing multiple things at once, right?
Now, before we jump into the game...
I'm sorry, I'm not going to argue with the guide. I apologize. The AI wins. The AI overlord will win. I apologize.
Final point.
Just like the gorilla would over a grizzly bear.
Is that while making variations on these guides, I did start and complete maybe a quest or two in Ashenvale before realizing one of the earlier generated guides didn't work. So it may seem a little jumpy at the start, but it all makes sense.
Okay.
Right, on with the leveling.
Okay.
So as I said, I did start leveling in Ashenvale following on from my first attempt at making a new guide. And man...
Okay, he's a warrior farming orange mobs in Ashenvale. This guide is like for hardcore players, man. It sends you as a warrior towards orange quests.
That was difficult. These mobs hit harder than ever, and it was a real struggle. Not only that, but as I read ahead, I noticed that some of the quests were just not available to me or in totally different locations.
The Warsong supplies... Head to Ashenvale, make your way to lumber camp, kill the laborers. I think the guide thingamajig doesn't take into effect like pre-quests, and like I think it's also mixing up different expansions. So it's taking quests that are probably in TBC and in Wrath, and then thinking that it's in vanilla, and then like making you do Wrath quests in vanilla, right? So it's like mixing up the different expansions too.
So I spent an extraordinary amount of time making guides over and over and over again to get one that made the most sense. Eventually, I landed on this guide. This is the guide I'll be following for levels 20 to 30. It has a quest-by-quest layout. It recommended me where to
After Kata new quests? Yeah, it's mixing in Kata quests. I think you're right, because professions don't give XP before Cataclysm, I believe, right?
Hearthstone, and also tells me when I should train new skills. Again, not perfect, which we will get into in just a moment, but it's a far cry better than the previous one, which was just go here and quest. Now, the first thing you may notice in this guide is that we're no longer heading to Ashenvale straight away. This guide actually sends us to Stone Talon Mountains first.
I like that.
Actually a way better suggestion already. It gives us 4 quests to do here: Cycle of Rebirth, Goblin Invaders, Blood Feeders, and Earthen Arise. These quests were a lot closer to my current level, so it was actually kind of quick just to blitz through them and get them done. One thing I did notice though with this guide is that it has the right quest title, but the description doesn't actually fit what I'm...
Oh yeah, Blood Feeders is the quest where you gotta kill the spiders, and this is like for harpies. 12 Blood Fury Harpies. I don't even think those are a thing in Stone Talon. Earthen Arise used a symbol of life at the statue of the fallen Earthen Warrior to summon him. And then this is the Goblin Invaders and Cycle of Rebirth. Collect 10 enriched mana biscuits by killing Grolls wandering in the fields. I don't even think this is a quest in vanilla WoW. I'm not gonna lie, unless it's like a mage quest or something like that. It might be the Charred Veil Harpies, but in that quest, you don't need to kill 12. You need to kill 8, I believe. There's the Harpies, there's the Slayers, and then there's the caster ones, right?
Doing in the game.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's reading quest text from...
Or is it 8? 7. Okay, it's 7. Okay, yeah, I thought it was 8, but 7.
Later expansion or something like that. But either way, the quests still exist in Classic, so I'd say that's fine.
Yeah,
Once I
guess.
handed in all the quests that were recommended, I noticed that I wasn't quite onto the next level as I should.
Dude, he's got some nice bags at level 20, alright? My man has got some good bags at level 20. I don't think that is very normal to get at level 20 having those.
Should be. So I continued reading, and it had a suggestion to hit 22. Oh man, I don't want to be back here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the guide recommends
Back
we
in
run
Wailing
Wailing
Caverns.
Caverns one more time so that we can hit 22 and continue on.
Yeah.
Once I got a group together, we head in, and let me tell you, this druid tank I picked up seems to pull mobs like it's retail.
He's a juicer.
Sometimes
So, yeah.
he's not even thinking about the healer's mana. We ran through the caverns quite quick because of this, and
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised we didn't wipe at all. Once we
Yeah,
get to
good.
the big boss, clear him pretty quick, but the dungeon then takes an interesting turn. We all jump down at the back of
Okay.
the room to start heading on to the next half of the dungeon, and our tank is somehow lost in how to get to us. I've never had this before, but we tried to explain which way to go to jump down, but he just rage quits and leaves the group. So it's up to me and our hunter to double tank the rest of the dungeon, which I was actually able to do quite easily. And we made it
He just said lol and then he left.
through to the end with no problems. I even helped 2 of the group to get their deviator hides because I know how much of a pain that is. And hey, it's all XP.
Okay.
Now that I'm 22, I head back over to Stone Teller Mountains to wrap up 2 quests. These quests took me way too long. There are
That's
a lot
fair.
of mobs in this area, and some of them hit hard. I wouldn't have been able to do it in the time that I did without another orc warrior turn.
Without Ukalabugula. Yeah, oh yes, my good man.
Turning up and needing the same quests. Also, another shout out to a
Oh, F.
terrible graveyard spawn, this time for Stone Talon. This grave run takes
Yeah, if you've ever done this quest and died up here and you had to do the run back, this takes like a solid 5 minutes just to run back up.
5 minutes to get back to my body
Yep.
when you're doing these quests. We hand in these quests and we can finally move on to Ashenvale.
Okay.
So this part of the guide recommends another 3 quests for me to complete and reach level 25.
Stonestill and Tandstill stand by the gazebo at Mistral Lake and kill anything that attacks. Satyr Horns collect 16 Satyr Horns. Trolls of a Feather collect 30 Blood Feather belts from Harpies around Rainovid Retreat. Trolls of a Feather. I don't remember this quest, but maybe it's been a long
I know
time
what you're
since
thinking.
I've...
There's no way 3 quests can get me up 2 levels.
Yeah,
I asked the AI to
I don't remember that quest, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't exist? Okay, yeah, I was wondering. I think the guide really takes in, like, Kata quests and, like, you know, maybe Wrath and Classic as well. It's like mixing in Cataclysm quests and stuff like that. Yeah, Trolls of a Feather. Yeah, that's the quest in Sunken Temple, right? To get the 2 feathers from all the channelers or whatever.
recommend me some additional quests to take on.
It's interesting
and it
to
sends
see,
me
though,
to
how the
other
guide
side
is
of
making it.
Ashenvale to complete quests like the Naga at the Zorum Strand and between a rock and a thistle fir. Now these
Okay.
are more like it. Easy to get done, and one of them leads onto the same area for troll charms. I
Yeah.
also found someone doing the same quest as me,
Easy.
so it just made sense to group up and get it done quicker without the constant dying. We speed through these quests, and I'm so close to hitting 24, so maybe I'll try the Satyr Horns quest. I made a mistake.
Yeah,
So I checked back with the guide and
that
noticed
quest is
it
hard.
also recommends me some other options instead of quests.
Grinding this is killing mobs for XP can be slow but steady XP. Dungeons are a great source of XP and gear upgrades. Professions, gather professions, mining urban can give decent amount of XP. Okay, so the guide definitely mixes in like Cataclysm. Because I think you get XP from professions in Kata, that I believe, right? So it is 100% mixing in other stuff.
To help
Like the
me level
AI
up.
thing.
One of which is grinding mobs in the area.
Yeah.
And seeing as I'm so close to hitting 24, I'll just go on a bit of a rampage.
Oh, is that mob? Okay, well, yeah, that's mob then, alright.
Grinding mobs goes a lot quicker when you're listening to the Doom soundtrack.
Okay, yeah.
I finally hit 24, and as per the guide, I head back to Orgrimmar to learn my new abilities.
Nice.
Once I'm back, I realize I don't really have any quests left to go with, other
Yeah.
than the Cursed Satyr Horns one, that I'm still under-leveled for. So following on from my last rampage of the local wildlife, I decide to just hit 25 through the South Park method.
Grind it up. Whenever in doubt, guys, just start grinding mobs, man.
187 furbolgs later,
That's vanilla.
I'm 25. Now that I'm 25, the guide gives me 3 more quest recommendations.
Okay. Thank you, Wolfstars, for the 7 months, and Osasubite, thank you for the 14 months, guys. Thank you very much for the subs. Continue in Ashenvale, keep your hearts on a splinter post, the foul element, collect the water globes, the water elementals, the saw blades. This quest you can only really do if you got like, you need engineering or you need to be able to use the auction house to buy that gun, right? Trouble in the deeps, venture into the entrance of Blackfathom Depths and extinguish the eternal flame. You might want to run Blackfathom Depths in Ashenvale for gear and experience. Remember to get the quest including knowledge in the deeps and in search of tail thread. Okay, so it's just telling you to do Blackfathom Depths, basically. Okay.
Or the suggestion of running Blackfathom Deeps. And I'd much prefer running dungeons. Not only for the quests and the gear, but also I think I just prefer it in some ways. It asks us to pick up all available quests for the dungeon, and then I form a group. I did realise halfway towards the entrance that one of the quests needed me to loot the crystals on the walls, so I didn't get them all before entering the dungeon. Once
you
we're
get them
in
afterwards.
It's quite a simple run. I think by this point, most people are confident in their class and role, so the dungeon experience gets a lot more bearable compared to...
Listen, what we have watched in some hardcore clips, man, okay, some people are not comfortable on their classes, okay? There's a lot of people that are very not comfortable, alright? I'm just saying that now.
Wailing Caverns. Not much happened in this dungeon, other than
Not
my
yet,
stupidness
exactly.
revealing itself when I forgot that breath was a mechanic.
Thank you for your
Oh, and we
patronage.
did mess up on these mobs here because someone lit all the braziers at once, spawning the...
That'll do it. That'll do it. That's a classic. That is a classic.
But other than that, it was an easy run, and after handing in my quests, it got me a good chunk of XP.
Yeah.
Now I just got into a flow of running the dungeon over and over again just because it was quick, and actually had some decent loot, including this sweet sword.
I don't really... I get why some people want to do that, I guess. Like, I spam dungeons. I kind of like doing a dungeon once and then moving out afterwards, especially in Classic. I feel like when you do the dungeon once, you get all the juicy XP from the quests, and you go out and you can continue questing afterwards. I like that, but I guess some people just really enjoy spamming dungeons. This is a very, very nice little katana weapon, though.
But in the end, I think I ran this dungeon like 4 or 5 times, getting to level 27. At that point, I again just had such a small amount of XP, I just murdered more wildlife.
Fair
now
enough.
that I'm 28, I once again head into Orgrimmar, learn my skills, then head across the Thousand Needles.
Okay.
While I'm traveling there, let me discuss the new talent system I'm working with, as
Okay.
suggested by a member of my guild, Ignite. Instead of asking it for a build, I'm going to ask it at every level for its recommendation. Focusing on arms
Oh.
first, then Fury once I've invested 30 points or so into arms. And to be fair, it's worked quite well.
Deflection is more suited for tanking build, increasing repair chance. While it's not a bad talent, it may provide the benefit while leveling. Tactical mastery, this talent remains an important one, especially if you're frequently switching stances. It allows you to retain rage while changing stances, which can be very helpful in varying situations. So it's just kind of talking like the cons and pros about the whole thing, right?
Never really wants to give me a definitive answer, but it usually narrows it down to just 2 choices.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, I'd say it's a much more interesting way to build a talent tree, and so far it's been working quite well.
I would like to see his actual talent tree, like what he's picked.
Anyway, once I'm in Thousand Needles, I find the
'Cause
glitchiest
he has
elevators in
arms.
the world. Seriously, what's going on with these things?
Oh my
They actually
God.
end up getting me killed, so that's a good start to this portion of leveling. Now,
Okay, well, it's good he's not playing hardcore, alright? That we can at least say.
the guide has provided me a nice chunk of recommended quests to follow, and while doing them, I've come to a conclusion. Leveling in Thousand Needles sucks. Seriously, just getting around this zone is a nightmare.
Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, it is not that bad. I would not say Thousand Needles is horrible. It's an okay zone. I really don't think it's a horrible zone at all. You go up, you kill the little Ken towers, you go left, there's some mobs over there. It's not that bad. It's not a good zone. I will say it's like an okay zone. Yeah, it's just alright. It's just okay.
All the mobs have an aggro range of half a mile. They're all really annoying mobs too, like hyenas, elementals, and lions.
Yeah.
And everything has a stun, so you spend almost all your time moving around this zone drunk after being concussed. In terms of quests, though, they're alright. It's mostly just killing stuff to get some drops, like the Grim Totem spying quest, but...
As long as you don't jump off the place up there, right?
Holy hell, the new ore sample quest also sucks.
That one
Why
sucks.
does this mob only spawn in 5 locations, and they're all so spread apart across this
That is the one quest that does suck in this zone. That is very true.
zone? Sometimes classic quest design just infuriates me.
Yeah.
After completing most of these quests, the next segment of the guide suggests running Razorfen Crawl. So once again, I round up a group and we head inside. Now I've got to say again, once you start dungeoning at these later levels, Most people you find are quite competent at what they're meant to be doing. Sure.
Listen, I have seen some things happen that says very much otherwise, okay? The amount of clips we have seen of people dying in No More again because they go down the middle. Oh my god. And it keeps happening, man. It keeps happening over and over again.
Some people might slip up here and there, but I've got to say, the experience just gets so much easier at these levels.
Okay.
Also, finding people for these dungeons is a lot quicker somehow.
That's
you can
good.
get a group together so fast. I only needed to run this twice for some of the loot, including this sweet helmet that I now have.
That's
And
nice.
just before we finished the second run, I hit level 30.
He didn't get his corpse maker though.
So, let's talk AI again. For this
Okay.
segment of leveling, after some tweaking, it's become a lot better. And in
Yep.
terms of suggestions for doing certain quests, setting my Hearthstone, and when to train my abilities, it's actually been pretty good.
I think from what we've seen, the guide is just like an overall like, okay, go in this area and do these kind of quests, then you have the option to do this. After you finish the dungeon, go in this zone. So it kind of just tells you what zones to go to, at what level, and what quests you can really do there. So it's definitely a lot better, but it's still not a good guide. It's just like an overall where should I go-ish, right? If you have no idea where to go, right?
Has missed the mark with some of the quests though. I'm looking at you, Satyr Horns. But overall, I'd say after working on my prompts and further questioning, it's come up with quite a nice layout. So
Okay.
my plans for the next set of levels is this. I'm going to take this format of the prompt and layout, and I'm going to get it to generate me a guide for every 10 levels. So now
Okay.
it'll be a fresh guide for 30 to 40, then 40 to 50.
40 to 50. I think he is very much underestimating how long it takes to get to 40 to 50. All right, that is like a solid, like, if he, I don't think this guy's like a super fast leveler, okay? That's gonna be a long guide.
Then finally, 50 to 60. I think this should get me through the next set of levels in no time. If
Okay.
you do have any suggestions of things for me to try and to add to it, then put it in the comments below and I'll try and make it happen. Lastly, I'd just like to say a massive thank you to everyone who has watched my first video on this idea, and also a huge shout out to Asmongold and his community for the support they've given me. Genuinely,
Thanks, Asmon.
I thought I was such a small time channel, there's no way anything like this could have happened. I'd also like to say thank you to my guild who recruited me shortly after my first video came
Interesting
out.
video,
You
though.
guys had some great feedback and suggestions for me. And finally, thanks to all the random people sending my character mail in-game, or whispering me and
Good video.
trading me stuff in Orgrimmar, and saying how much you like the video. It's genuinely bonkers. I've never experienced anything quite like this.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Interesting video. I liked it. I would really like to see like what it really says about the talents,
Basically,
though.
you have to write your own guide to get the so-called AI to work. Such marvelous technology. Good video, though. Props to the creator and 3.
You really don't like AI, do you, MacMirror? Thank you for the 300 bits, though. I appreciate that. I think it's interesting. It's interesting to see what like kind of guide and what kind of like you know what sort of like a thing it comes up with whenever you give it the prompts for it, right? Like yeah, it's not the best guide. Is it something you should use to level with? Probably not. But I think it's an interesting thing to see what like kind of thing it comes up with, right? The talents, though, I would really like to see more into. And in general, it's like a very surface level guide, right? That'll really just tell you to, okay, go in this area and do sort of this, right? But good video from him, though. I liked it. It was quite nice, actually. There it is. I'll link it right here, y'all. Okay.
scary about Energizer Ultimate Lithium, the #1 longest lasting AA battery.
Hey Greg, Rena here. Want to show me the problem with the chair? Greg, it's gonna be okay. I'm adding him.
On your hardcore journey, you're going to be completing many quests. Whether it's carrying a package halfway across the world, collecting hooves from apparently hoofless zebra, or delving into a dungeon to defeat a boss. Classic leveling is something that takes a long time, even for the most experienced of players.
But it's fun.
During that journey, certain quests that you come across may prove a little more difficult than others. In fact, some of them are just straight up incredibly overtuned and not fair
Heart of
at all
Muck.
towards the player. Those are the quests we are going to be talking about today.
But those are the fun ones, man. The ones where you really have to dig deep into your brain in your classic WoW knowledge and figure out a way to maybe cheese it or maybe get it done even if you're not supposed to be able to do it, right? Yes, we did watch the Captain Grimm video.
Whether the quest is a trap, a dangerous escort, or just in a cave in general, there are some quests out there which you should probably give a second thought towards before you accept them unprepared. Now, of course, there are elite quests in the game which are expected to be in a group for, and there are even people who try to solo dungeons too. And whilst these are feats of strength in of themselves, well, you're meant to be in a group. The quests I'll cover today are things which are specifically not marked as elite and can easily catch you off guard if you approach them solo.
So it's like Stranglethorn Fever, like Heart of Muck and stuff like that.
If you don't read the quest text, because quite a few of these quests do drop hints that you should probably bring more than one person. And it is difficult narrowing it down to just 10, but for me, these are some of the hardest quests to attempt on your hardcore
The chicken
character.
escort,
But before we go on, a quick word from today's sponsor, Factor 75. I'm told summer is here, which means it's prime grass-touching season. And with Factor 75, you can order and plan your meals to suit your lifestyle. Factor 75 offer delicious, dietitian-approved meals delivered straight to your doorstep.
I'm getting 5.
You also won't be spending hours in the kitchen, as each meal is ready in 2 minutes. It's microwavable food, but just not like you've had it before. So if you're looking to eat healthier or wanted to pick up on some better eating habits, Factor 75 can help there. Their meals are calorie counted, and the weekly
will say, this looks pretty good,
feature
though.
over
The
30
swim?
restaurant quality meals, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, vegetarian, and many more. And
Damn.
you'll always be able to find something thanks to their rotating menu. So you and your wallet will both be looking fully buffed. Plus, with their special packaging, you don't even need to be at home to receive your meals.
What is that?
Why not give them a try? Use my link or go to factor75.com and use code POGWILLYJUNE50 for 50% off your first box. Once you click, my description will live update to count up the purchases.
That's
Many
insane.
thanks as always to Factor75 for the sponsor today. Let's get back to WoW.
I'm getting 10 of those guys, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we're in Eastern
Starting off
Plaguelands,
over in
Western.
Western Plaguelands. You will have had a good amount of time on your character when you
Cauldrons?
reach this quest, and have already gotten way further than most
okay,
will.
the Cauldrons.
But in these later game zones are some really nasty quests. The first one I want to touch on is called A Matter of Time. It's a quest from Chromie in Anderhol that has you use a temporal displacer on nearby.
This quest is a secret killer, man. So many people that end up pulling these mobs here, they don't realize they're slow and they don't realize that they keep spawning. A little trick for this quest though is just go to the eastern part of the zone of like Anderhol, whenever there's water nearby. The worms can't swim, so you can just jump into the water if you're about to die.
Silos to summon and then destroy 15 temporal parasites.
These ones right here.
It sounds simple enough, but there are 2 problems here. First up is the fact
yet
these
big.
parasites spam a slowing effect, which makes it difficult to escape and totally ruins melee DPS. Second is how many of them can spawn.
It's random.
After you use the displacer, up to 3 parasites can spawn at one time, and after you kill one, there is a chance for another to respawn and take its place. I'm not sure what the limit is on how many can spawn at once and replace others.
I think it's
but
infinite.
I feel as though I've seen about up to 6 total personally. This makes the quest particularly
Look at all
dangerous,
those.
as you can't be sure whether there is another spawn coming or not. What I'd suggest doing if you're on a class less able to handle many mobs at once is to use the silos on the southeast of Anderhol.
Yeah, with the water. You gotta use the ones with the water.
Make sure you're only summoning parasites from one of the silos, and then use the nearby water to reset aggro. This technique worked during Classic, and it still should on Era 2. Next is another quest from the Plaguelands,
Ooh,
this
the
time
hammer.
over to the east. It's kind of a surprise the first time you see this person here, but Tyrion
Have I played too much WoW? I mean, I don't know. I've played too much vanilla WoW, guys. I'm sorry.
himself is holed up
Yeah,
at
the
a
Hammer
small
quest.
house in the northwest of the zone. He has a huge lore-heavy quest line involving a whole lot of mob grinding and dungeon running. One of the early parts of this quest is named Of Forgotten Memories. It has you go retrieve an item that's been buried outside a crypt to his south, and it seems like a pretty simple recovery quest.
I think they have like 5k HP. Like, those dwarves has an insane amount of HP.
But it is
why Walker
not.
died, guys.
When you loot the dirt pile, a level 57
Walker died here.
NPC and 3 level 55s will spawn. For some reason, all of these guys do way higher damage than average for their level, in addition to having over 5,000 health each. Simply put, taking on all 4 at once is going to be very challenging, especially if you are under leveled.
It's so dumb.
The good news is you only need to defeat the 57 to loot the item.
It's easy to ask and kill the main guy.
There are several ways to do this quest pretty safely. First of all, if you're playing any ranged class in the game, there's a small broken down part of the fence nearby to where you loot the dirt pile. If you run up to this, tap jump and forwards and then do that again, you'll be able to jump over it. The mobs will have to run far around to the side in order to reach you here, so you can simply wear the leader of the robbers down.
I will say though, this little fence jump is actually quite hard. Sometimes you have to like jump a little bit and then jump again to like make it. So it can scuff you up pretty bad.
If you're a melee, you need to do a split pull on the mobs. In order for this to work, you need to aggro all 4 mobs at the same time
and only attack that guy.
You can't pull one mob and have the others aggro off of him and follow you. That won't work. The best way to do this is via a consumable that deals AoE damage, such as grenades. And even if you aren't an engineer, you still get nades from various quest rewards, so you'll probably have some on you. So you nade the mobs, run away, keep the 57 in combat with thrown weapons or other attacks, and after a while the 55 should reset, leaving you with a 1v1. And you
split pulling is incredibly OP actually, the fact that you can even do this.
You keep running with a 57, as the 55s might just re-aggro anyway. Or, you know,
you
just
have to,
run in, blast
you have to press spacebar very hard
and hope for the best. That can work too. Next is first of the defend against waves of enemies type.
But the thing about this quest though, okay, here's a spoiler again, guys. You just bring the ant to the little tunnel, and then whenever you kill the ant, the next wave won't go on you instantly, okay? So whenever you in between the waves, you can chill and like reset your character, right?
Of quest on this
list, there's 3 waves.
Pawn captures Queen. It's fairly deep into a quest chain which
starts in
Tanaris and takes place in Ongoro Crater. This has you use an item to summon mobs in the back of a cave. After using the item, 2 mobs will instantly spawn to defend the hive. Upon defeating them, 3 more will instantly spawn, and when you defeat them, the Queen herself will spawn alongside 2 more mobs.
A lot of people die this.
The big tip here is you don't need to instantly fight one wave after the other. If you stand towards the entrance of the room, you'll be able to eat and drink up to full health and mana in between each wave. As for the last wave with the Queen, you only technically need to defeat her for the quest item, and then you could run away and de-aggro the other 2 mobs. But this is risky. There's a pretty good chance that enemies will have started to respawn back near the entrance of the cave.
You gotta go as soon as you clear all the ads, just because like you have like what 5 minutes or so, something like that.
And you could just be running back into even
the respawns are really fast,
plan to defeat all 3 waves if possible. Next, I want to cover one horde specific and one
spawns here.
specific quest.
This guy dies so fast, by the way. Whenever you pull those trucks or whatever that does fireballs, he dies in like 2 fireballs. It's ridiculous, man, and the respawns are so gnarly.
Both very difficult and should be approached with caution on a
I didn't pre-watch the video
character.
chat.
The Horde one is Test of Endurance, which takes place in 1,000 needles.
Dude, the Test of Endurance is way harder than the Absent-Minded Prospector. It's not even... Dude, this one is ridiculous.
This is part of a really long quest chain, which during this part has you go into a nearby Harpy Cave, another cave quest, get used to seeing
this
them,
one is scary,
and defend against several waves of enemies. And despite this quest taking place around level 30 or so, it is way more dangerous than the one we just talked about in Ongoro. After destroying one of the food crates, you start the encounter, which will summon 2 harpies in the first wave, 2 harpies in the second.
Type 1 in the chat if you doubted to this, guys.
3 harpies in the third wave, and 2 harpies as well as the final boss in the last
It's
wave.
just the
Each wave
respawns.
comes in really fast, giving you
Yeah,
very
and they silence as well. They do like a big 8-second silence or something like that.
little time to recover in between each
Look at
set.
this.
The cave also has extremely high mob density and very low respawn times, meaning that respawns will have more or less guaranteed happened by the time you're towards the end of the waves.
This one is actually way harder than Yunguru, like the Queen quest. This is ridiculous.
If that doesn't sound bad enough, they also spam a silence effect, meaning if you're a caster, this quest gets way more difficult as you're stuck wanding for the most part. All in all, you should either overlevel
I did this on flop, but there was other people in the cave when I did it. But I managed to still do it on the big flop. And then I just died to Sulfurak a little bit later, but you know, that's how it goes.
This quest with all your cooldowns and potions available, or just probably
It's
consider
doable, Grills, but
skipping
it's
it if you're
hard.
a caster. On the Alliance, one of the more dangerous early game quests
This
I
one
can
is
think
not
of
that
is
hard.
the escort part of the absent-minded prospector. This has you take an NPC around a dig site in search of a relic.
I wouldn't say this quest is like terrible. It's hard, but it's not like crazy hard.
Quests are already notorious in World of Warcraft, mostly
Nico?
for having mobs which move a bit faster than you walk,
Not
but
you,
slower
Siri.
than you run. But this one has a whole other level of challenge. First of all, a dig site might as well be a cave as it has one entrance and one exit. The NPC you're escorting is level 16, whereas mobs in the dig site range from 18 all the way to 21. There are both very fast respawns.
I think I did this at level 20 or so on my rogue, yeah.
Dynamic respawns in effect here. Dynamic meaning there must always be a certain number of enemies in the area at one time.
Yep, so they keep spawning.
If you are unlucky, you can get rid of one golem and another instantly spawns to take its place.
Unlucky.
I've had this happen to me before. But the real danger here is the trogs that attack towards the back of
fireballs.
the camp. You get one melee and one caster who can spawn up to level 21. This escort quest feels as though you need good RNG to take it on at a
little
level
bit.
appropriate to the quest. Because when you first visit this area around level 17 to 18, good luck. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Speaking of dangerous escort quests, you can't mention the subject without talking about...
The one in Tanaris, in my opinion, is the hardest. Then it's the one in, what is it called? In Hinterlands. And then the one in Feral Ass is the easiest one, in my opinion. But these chicken escorts can get very gnarly. Yeah.
About the chicken quests. There are 3 in total, all of which started from random zone-wide drops in mid to late game areas. Each one of these has a reputation due to the sheer number
The one in
of
Feral Ass is hardest because you have to farm for hours to get the chicken. This one does seem to have the lowest drop rate. You're right.
mobs that you have to fight off during each of them. But if you are able to do these quests, they give amazing XP, good item rewards, and if you do
it's
all
easy view
3,
pre-clear,
you get
exactly.
a mechanical chicken of your own, which you can even trade on the auction house if you want to. But me,
And you get a lot of XP. If you finish all 3 of them, you get a bonus 4th quest, which you can... It gets like 9.7k XP or something like ridiculous.
Least dangerous chicken
it's
quest
huge.
is in Feralus, simply because 2 of the patrols that you run
I agree.
into are on the road,
Still
where
easy
there
to-
isn't a real risk of pulling anything else.
And you can skip some of them as well if you're a rogue or something like that.
Don't get me wrong, it's not
Rogue pile.
exactly easy all the same, but the mobs you fight tend to be a little bit lower level than you are as well. The second hardest chicken quest for me is the one in Tanaris. And
I feel like this one is the hardest, man. That 3-pack, that 3 Scorpion pack is nasty.
There's only really one difficult patrol to deal with, but it's really difficult. Around
Yeah.
where you see a bunch of rocks, there will be 3 high-level Scorpid that
These are
spawn,
nasty.
which also apply a stacking poison debuff. The Scorpid themselves will already pose a problem for most players,
Yeah.
but there are also several normal mobs roaming the area too, which can easily chain
guess that's
pull
true
in the
too.
fight.
Yeah, the
and
stealth
also,
mobs.
if somebody has failed this quest before you, these Scorpids stay alive in the world for ages and just kind of auto-fail the next person attempting the quest.
Yeah.
But the hardest chicken escort has to be the one in the hinterlands.
Really?
There are already dangerous patrols on the road with nearby mobs roaming about, but the bit that makes it
This one you can actually skip. If you have a nifty stopwatch, you can run into this pack here, run all the way around with a nifty stopwatch as the chicken is running through, and then not even have to kill this pack right here. And then you can save all your big cooldowns on the next pack with the trolls on it, right? So you just use nifty stopwatch, run these mobs out, and then chicken goes through. Next pack, pop all cooldowns, and you're good to go.
challenging is the final
You can also use a
encounter
mount if you have a mount. Yeah, I mean if. At that point, I didn't have a mount, so that's why I'm saying nifty. But yeah, you could also just run into this pack with a mount, run all the way to the right, so the chicken doesn't get aggroed, and then you can pull the next pack with all cooldowns.
The Vile Branch ambushers. The issue here is that there are stealthed wolves all over the place, and it's
that's
nearly
true.
impossible to fight both the trolls without accidentally pulling additional mobs into the
That's
fight,
fair.
making things even harder than they already are.
Okay.
There are two things you can say about these escort quests, and indeed all escort quests for that matter. Free clear where possible. If you know where you're going, you can ensure that the way is safe, apart from the additional NPCs that will spawn.
Okay.
And secondly is sometimes you don't need to fight anything at all. If the NPC you're escorting does not enter combat with the patrol,
you can just
they
run
will
around.
just keep running along happily, and as long as you don't fall too far behind, you will not fail the quest.
Yep.
This can be consistent to pull off once you have a mount, and before that some classes can handle kiting mobs better than others. Mages can take enemies to the side and freeze them forever, and hunters can pull out mobs and feign death, and so on. Next is a quest back in STV called Stranglethorn Fever.
This one is, if you do this at the level where they are like yellow to you, like that same level, you're a god gamer, man. Okay, this is actually like difficult as heck, brother.
Defense quests in the game. In fact, I'd say there's only one harder than...
I did this on WoW, but I was a little bit higher level, right? I wasn't like at the exact level with the quest, so like most of the mobs were green for me, right?
The saving grace here is that this quest takes place outdoors, so you can pretty easily
I was
escape
really high
if
level,
things
yeah.
go wrong. Either way, the objective is to loot the heart of Mock the Savage. Getting him to spawn, though, can be tricky. First up, you need to collect 10 gorilla fangs to begin
that's not that
the
bad.
event. The
Hey,
first
Willy, are you on a different...
To collect 10 gorilla...
You're not in vanilla, Willy. How dare you cheat on vanilla? Have you been playing other expansions? That is ridiculous. Are you on Wrath of the Lich King right now? Unbelievable, Willy.
Gorilla fangs to begin the event. The first wave you'll run into is 3 enraged gorillas to deal with. After that, you have a short amount of
There's
time
3
to
of these,
recover
though.
before the next wave of 5 gorillas will arrive.
Yeah,
You must
again, he's on Wrath right now, so there's only 3 here.
deal with all of these whilst ensuring that the quest troll NPC remains alive. After that, the last wave of 6 gorillas,
That's
including the
insane.
boss, will come. Now, this is kind of the easiest wave, as you no longer need to keep the NPC alive and only need to defeat the named mob, Mock the Savage.
I mean, yeah, you could just let all the gorillas aggro the NPC and then pick off Mark and then let the NPC die as you're killing Mark. But it's just getting to that point that's really, really difficult, right?
So you can just hide out of line of sight.
This is a really
or in
hard
stealth,
quest.
Wait for the gorillas to engage the NPC, and then pull out Mock by himself, defeat him, and then run off and reset the rest.
Fair enough.
As a tip on this quest, this wave won't spawn until all the gorillas
Setups,
from the last
guys.
one are defeated. So keeping one mob CC'd or at low health and waiting for cooldowns is a very viable tactic.
Okay.
Next is an escort quest you should probably skip unless you've seen how it works firsthand, because what the game pulls on you here is kind of just not very fair.
It's
And I've
nasty.
seen so many hardcore deaths on this quest.
And people get netted. The Ken Towers on this pack here, the first pack, they net.
It's none other than Get Me Out of Here in Desolus.
Yeah.
It has you lead a level 39 NPC out of a Centaur camp. The first patrol you have to deal with is a set of 4 level 40 Centaur.
Whenever I did this, the escort actually just walked past. Like all these two mobs here, they just waddled over to the right, and then it didn't pull the goblin for some reason.
If you hang to the left of the pathway, the NPC should be able to just about avoid them without you having to intervene. The problem here is the second patrol, which has 3 Centaur and 2 hyena pets.
It's not that bad, TBH. If you have a lot of cooldowns, most classes will be able to do this.
This pack is nasty for so many reasons.
But they disarm. So that's the main thing. They use net and they disarm. So you just need to be aware of that.
The hyena can see through stealth, so don't even think about sneaking past them. And the Centaur disarm as well as spam a net. So
Yeah.
it drastically cuts down the DPS of melee.
It's doable, but
and makes
sketch.
it very difficult to escape in general.
It's really RNG. If they hit you with a lot of disarms, you can definitely die to it easily.
This also makes kiting the mobs to the side problematic if you end up getting rooted at a bad time. It's worth a try if you want to have a go
Okay.
at a challenging quest, but you really do have to go out of your way to pick this one up. Next, it's back to Stranglethorn.
Oh, the boats.
Again. There's quite a few hard quests in this zone. For the last part of the quest line, named the Bloodsail Buccaneers.
That's the one.
The earlier parts of this quest have you investigate the Bloodsail and defeat some swashbucklers.
This one is
you
sketch.
usually do this around level 41, maybe 42.
Okay.
And then you get a follow-up quest to assault the Bloodsail ships, which are just anchored off the coast of Stranglethorn Vale. You have to fight your way inside each of the 3 separate ships, which both have extremely high mob density, fast respawn rates, and way higher combat levels compared to
You
the
can
rest
just pull so many mobs here, man. Like, you can pull through the little windows, and like it can go south so fast on these boats.
Zone. To top it off, the objective of the quest is
It's
to
high level,
defeat the
48, I believe.
captains. Each of these captains have been bumped up a few extra combat levels, ranging from 46.
This guy has like a board charge as well.
All the way to 48. So taking on this quest as soon as you can after having done the previous one is incredibly risky. Also, there is a little gap in the ship's stairs.
You can pull
as
through the
head
gap,
down below deck. And if you get unlucky,
Yeah, and they can attack you through the deck. That's true as well. Yeah, there's a bolt charge. They attack you through the deck. The Fleet Master Flalilion, whatever he's called, is level 48. It's a very sketch quest.
Can see through there and aggro and end up chain pulling 3 or 4 others, leading to a situation that can very quickly get out of hand. This quest is one to come back to at a higher level for sure. Honorable mention to a quest here,
Madeira?
which isn't exactly difficult
Really?
per se. It's just impossible to do it without dying.
A brain
As
check,
part of
I
the
guess.
linking quest chain that starts in Ungoro Crater, you have to create a Vidare elixir.
Yeah,
If
okay.
you use this while standing in the graveyard in Tanaris, it will instantly kill you, allowing you to speak with a ghost to continue the quest chain.
I do wonder if somebody actually has done this, like without,
goes without
you know,
saying,
in
you
hardcore.
probably don't want to be doing this on your hardcore character.
I do
And
wonder.
Finally, it's
Probably
the
has been
hardest
done.
quest in the entire
Yeah, there
game
was
to
the
do.
mage, but I have a feeling like that was bait. We watched that 60 mage who did it, but that clip was just too perfect, right? The mage just dinked level 60 and got she's done, and then he went to the graveyard and drank the elixir. Like that, it was too perfect, right? It was definitely on purpose, I think.
Do it a level
Yeah,
appropriate
it's just-
to it. Honestly, I don't know what Blizzard was thinking with this one, but it combines elements of
Ooh,
every
yeah, this
dangerous
quest.
possible into one. You're defending versus waves, you have little recovery time, you're in a cave, there are fast respawns, there are mobs that run in fear at high speed, you have a very small area to fight
This
in.
is scary.
The list just goes on and on.
It's not even the quest that's scary. It's just all the respawns, man. They're so fast in
It's
that
a
cave.
random out of the
And
way-
you gotta go so deep too, man.
A quest in the Stone Talon Mountains called Gorenzo's Orders. You've probably not
Ants?
even ever done
Oh,
it,
rip.
or maybe even seen it. The first wave you have to deal with are 3 kobolds, which are around level 20. Not too bad, that. Followed shortly after by 4 more, all around level 20. This time you have 2 meleeers and
It's
2
just-
casters. This second pull is a lot harder due to the increased damage you'll be taking from the casters. The final pull is 4 level 23 to 24 kobolds.
And at this point, you probably will be getting respawns as well, right?
Including one with an aura that increases the attack speed of nearby allies by 25%.
I didn't even know
this
that.
This is a level 22 quest, by the way, which makes it so much more difficult since your class will be lacking certain
Your
key
kid is so
defensive or
little.
offensive abilities. And even if you try to kite mobs out of the cave during the quest or pre-clear, respawns will happen during this quest because they just happen that fast here. If there was ever a quest to just skip, this is it. Or just really overlevel it. I mean, you do get a
It's
decent
hard,
pair
man.
of male boots out of it, but I'm not sure they're worth the risk. Anyways,
I
those
mean,
are 10
I
of
think
my
for a lot of these, when he says it's not worth the risk, I personally think, like, when it comes to hardcore, the fun thing is not really, the reward or whatever. It's like doing the difficult challenges and overcoming certain obstacles, right? So maybe you don't get anything good from really doing it, but I think the value in doing it is the risk itself, that you did it and you survived, right? That's pretty much it.
So those are 10 of my quests, which I reckon are the most challenging in Classic to go into unprepared on
We're playing a warlock and a rogue. Well, when I make a warrior next time, you'll see, Lord Lane. Yeah, you'll see.
Core character. It's definitely difficult to narrow it down just to 10
Yeah.
since there are so many that can be problematic.
That's
but
true.
I tried to go for ones here which more or less any class or spec in the game could have issues with.
Okay.
I guess the summary is escort quests as well as defending against waves of mobs inside of caves
Lots
are
of telegrams.
both pretty tough. Who knew? Either way, that's
Good
all for
video,
today.
though.
Any others you'd include, do let me know below. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.
I'll
and
link the video,
listening.
guys. I'll
And
link the
see you
video
on
here.
the next one. very soon.
There you go. There's the video from Willie. Nice video, though. I like that. As Horde, there's only one quest I want to attempt to do, and that's Hellkiller's Revenge in Hillsbrad. Turning in a graveyard south tier is truly a suicide mission. Also, Test of Endurance can be approached similarly to Pawn Capture's Queen, and to make it more doable. I feel like the thing about that, though, is that in that RB cave, the respawns are way too ridiculous, right? It's just insane, man. Hardcore Classic popped off at the exact time for Willie to keep making fresh classic videos. Yeah. I mean, that's true, I suppose. That is very true.
Oh, or wheat whole grains. That's that nutritious spread, right?
That's right, Picnic family. It's delicious, good.
We got a 50 priest here in Fellwood. What are they doing? Okay, they are very by the way. Like, extremely here. But they're fighting one mob, a cultist. These mobs can be quite scary, though. The adepts in particular, because they have the fire blast and stuff like that, right? Okay, why are you running so... You're going to be pulling another mob here as well. Jadenor is dead. This is a very scary place for sure. Okay, you're running a raid, but not really. Okay, you pulled an extra mob here. You are fine, though. I don't know if I agree with that Mind Blast. That's kind of sus. You should probably use, like, your Shadow Word Pain instead, right? Okay, because like now you're very here. Popping a mana pot, you use the big one you had, which is good. You're not in shadow form as well. There's the fear going off. You cannot banish yourself because you still have a dot on. You can banish yourself now. You are not banishing yourself. I do not like to see that. You are using a wand instead of bandage. Okay, clicking the grenade into a flash heal. I don't like that you didn't banish yourself. Okay, now you're just wanding as well. You need more mana. Can you fear? Why would you fear into bandage? Oh no, now he's wanding. He has no mana left. There's nothing he can do here unless he can do like a flash heal. Flash heal? Heal! Oh my god, he's trying to fear. You just need to wand.
No!
Dude, all the priests we've seen, man, none of them want to bandage, dude. Just use that bandage. When you fear, bandage yourself. Because you in the fear, you regen the mana because you're not casting, and you still get the health because of the bandage, man. Okay, farming some Tenaris mobs here. That's really nice.
No! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Dude, I would like one day...
Thank you for your patronage.
One day I would like to find a BOE rare epic, man. I would... That's cool, though. I don't think he's probably not gonna use this, though, right? But...
What the fuck is that?
He's a warrior, right? So... But that is pretty cool. Maybe once you're in, like, if you're actually fighting, like, undeads and stuff like that, it could definitely be worth it, right? If I was a rogue and I got these, I'd be pretty happy. But he's a warrior. Rip HC Banana. So they're in RFK right now. Where are they in RFK? Oh, they're going for the backside. Warriors taking quite a lot of mobs. Okay, I don't really know how this is gonna go wrong though, unless some of them falls down or something. Yeah, they're going in from the back. This is where you do the warrior quest. There's a warrior quest back here you can do. Okay. Yeah, so they are going through the backside here. So unless somebody falls down here, right? I mean, but... Oh, wait, the mage fell down. Oh, shit, bro.
Dude, bro fell.
Oh my god, he pulled so much.
No fucking way, dude.
Maybe go... help him, or... Oh my god, look at the map. He's so far away. He literally booked it.
What?
Yeah, he's dead. If you don't jump down and help him, you're...
Bro dead.
It was a lot of mobs, though. Is bro dead? WTF.
What the fuck?
Did they instantly go back this way? Wait, I like who just said probably. Is he dead? Yeah, probably. Yeah, he's died.
Oh, man.
Oh, fuck! What the hell? Why would you make that sound, man? Yeah, so he fell... I mean, they could have just jumped down here, though, and then helped him, right? But...
Dude, bro fell.
I mean, there was 5 mobs on him, and he was probably pulling a buttload more, so maybe they were just like...
No fucking way, dude.
I do get why they would not want to jump down there, to be honest. We got a rogue here in the around the Dalaran place. Okay. Oh, are you gonna be attacking? No, don't do it. Oh no, they do like don't stop attacking, stop attacking, stop attacking, stop attacking. You cannot attack into this. This is like a stance where they start like it's a thorns basically, and it does so much damage to you if you attack it, man. You need this named, and he was like, no, get it. Watch out. Oh my god, and you just weren't paying attention, man. It's the same as the Cursed Sub-Chiefs, yeah. The Cursed Sub-Chiefs in the Cursed Cave in Northern part of Stranglethorn also does this as well. What you could do is you could attack this mob and cleave into the other mob. It's only if you directly attack the mob yourself. But massive rip, though. Okay. Ooh, if you do this, you must have a restoration potion. Okay, I see they have one right here. Because it's the hex that's scary about this. But I think a mage should be able just to like range it, right? There's the hex. Oof. You need to get away from this boss. Like go to the stairs and kite around the stairs, I think. Ooh, there's the Shadow War Pain as well. Yeah, go around these stairs here, I think. Like jump up and down, I think. Okay, he still hasn't used his what is it called? His restoration potion. Restoration potion also removes Shadow War Pain. Maybe in counterspell that? Oh, it resisted the counterspell, which is a shame. He actually did use counterspell, but it resisted. If you get a hex now, you're dead. You are dead if you get. Okay. You should restoration pot soon, man. You're dead. No, you're dead. You don't have block up. You don't have cold snap. You're dead. You do have cold snap, but you can't use it. You should have snapped immediately after that block. Rip. Classic hardcore 60 mage death Skolomans. Ooh, Rattlegore, guys.
I got my legend. Dude, I don't have anything, so we're gaming.
Alright, so we're running upstairs.
Oh no. Rattlegore has a massive cleave. It's not even just Rattlegore, it's also the ads, man.
Y'all just stay down here.
With the sweeping strikes and the stun.
Yeah, it's not bad, trust me.
Okay, let's go then.
It's not bad, trust me.
If you can spot the instant.
You want me to pull it?
It's a Fury Warrior. It's he's a Fury Prod.
And just watch your left. Watch your left.
Yeah, you kill the ads first. I think you commit to killing ads first for sure.
Gazoo, gazoo.
Majestic, thank you for the 2 months prime.
Just gotta wait till he pats back.
Okay. Ballsy players, yeah. It's the ads you gotta focus because they hurt a lot. It's that thing. You saw the sweeping strikes? That's the thing that hurts.
Do that on the boss, but whatever.
And the boss does a stun and a threat reset too. You do not want to get close to these at all if you're a caster.
I'm not sure.
Rattlegore.
Okay, there's the stun on the tank, so he can't do anything right now. The knockback. Ad is loose. Tank is not picking up the ad. Pick up the ad, Mr. Tank.
Split. Whatever we do. Just kill Rattlegore.
That ad is still loose, by the way. It's still loose. He's not picking it up. Wait, why is he not picking? Okay, he blocked.
You have Nova after this one.
That ad can like one-shot your casters.
Just fear the ad.
He died.
I'm stunned.
Hey, wait for.
Yeah, he got one shot. The ad was Nova though. That was bad. I don't know why he didn't pick it up. We marked it skull. Yeah. I don't know why why didn't he pick up the ad? It's a boss and an ad. He clearly had threat on the boss. And the ad was just loose.
Okay. Like
that was not nice, man, because look, the mage blocked up there, then it got Nova'd.
Ooh, this keep away from
Then he ran away from the Nova as a tank.
Fear the ad.
And then yeah, and then the boss's skull. No, it was changed. In the beginning, it was the ad that was like the thing.
Boss, but whatever.
Are we focusing Rattlegore?
Look, it was changed during the boss fight.
Or the ad? I think it should be Rattlegore, right?
Yeah, I guess the tank changed the massive rip though. He should have picked it up right here. I don't know why he ran away. Yeah, he should have went up to the ad, picked up the ad, stood in the range of the Frost Nova, because when a mob is like Frost Nova, it will attack the nearest target regardless of what it has on the threat. Right? Unless you have the threat on it, I guess, and you're nearby it. But if nobody has threat on it and you stand near it, it will just hit you no matter what. Okay. So doing this, they're doing. Oh no. Oh, that's bad timing. With the dragon. At this point, reset Cyclonian. Just reset him. You need to just get away. You just reset, run away. He's still committing.
I'm just two-handed right now. We got another mob, guys.
Oh my god, he charged Cyclonian.
I'm trying my best.
No, you're dead.
I'm so sorry, dude. I'm so sorry. Alright, kill him.
Why would you do that?
I'm trying to get this mob off you guys. Alright, I got him. I can't get him.
Just run away.
Okay, I got them.
You need to jump over and kill those ants if you go for that Serpent Bloom. I have a feeling that's what's gonna happen. Don't jump over there, said the hunter.
He said, don't jump over there.
The ants are now, they are now pulled. They pulled the ants. Yep, they're pulled.
Maybe you should try getting a job.
See, now you're pulled. Yep, he pulled. They're gonna pull half the instance now.
Oh, he's spamming it. How many is he gonna drag?
Everything. It's gonna drag.
How many is he gonna drag?
Everything. We shall see. Dude, there's gonna be like 10 mobs coming, by the way.
See? Oh god.
Bro, you should realize by now, the fact that the mobs still haven't arrived, you should know that there's a lot coming. Oh my god, look. Oh my god, that's a lot of mobs.
Where do we go?
I'm not in. Oh my god, there's a lot of mobs! Yep, you don't do that! You need to kill that pack, man! They're just running. Why would you wait for so long and then run? Why would you like wait to see?
Oh, shit, was it worth the Serpent Bloom, man?
To be fair, it was the guy that did it that died.
Oh shit.
He was the only one who died. Man. With RFD right now, is this gonna be a cockroach moment? That cockroach right there, below my cam, there's a cockroach right there, and I don't know if that's what the one that's gonna pull. They only have one pack at the moment. I think it. Yep, that's. Dude, okay, hold on. Before you look. My camo's covering it. That thing right there. That's the cockroach. Right. Right there, guys. That's the culprit. That's the culprit. I don't see it. It's on the right, guys. It's moving across the little house now. Jesus. Yeah, that's unfortunate. God.
No, estoy congelado.
Yeah, they got a lot of mobs now. At this point, you can jump off and then like Hearthstone, right? Because this is a lot of mobs. Your healer is basically so is your paladin. Oh, your shaman, sorry. Can they even jump off you? Oh, they're all the way down, so they can't even... No, they... Are they? Yeah, they are all the way down.
Sí, ya sé, pero no tengo mana.
Oof. Yeah, at this point, if your hunter can like feign death into a trap and then like run all the way out, then you're good. Big K Kona is probably gonna die because he's all the way into the mobs. Oh, he's trying to bandage again. It's not gonna work. He's dead. You can fear here, but I don't know if it's gonna work on these mobs because they're undead, right? Maybe you should run?
No, no te puedo sacar, Luch.
And he's gonna get change slowed here. Big K Kona's gonna go down now. He's trying to bandage again. He still hasn't used shield wall though. He didn't use shield wall at all, man. Big K Kona goes down. Cockthar goes down. I think maybe if they stood their ground with all cooldowns, they could have done it a little bit better, but I think they panicked, man. Once they saw that double pack come in, they started panicking, and they just wanted to run away and like survive somehow, right? But it's a rip, dude. It's a rip. I mean, a lot of people, you can play perfectly. You can play like amazing and be insanely good, but whenever you see a bunch of mobs, suddenly you start panicking and you don't really know what to do, right? And you just want to like run away. But I guess the number one thing to really learn from this, guys, is kill the cockroaches, okay? Those cockroaches have wiped so many groups. It is ridiculous, man.